Hi, this is Rick from Doomsday Models. I'm building another Russian tank. I seem to really like the Russian front just because of the armor clashes were the most notable in World War II. The most massive scale, and so that's where my focus usually is. So if you wonder why I make a lot of, I've yet to show you a German tank. However, I had many completed. I'm working on another Russian tank. This one is from Hobby Boss, and it's the heavy cast KV-1, an upgraded 76.2 millimeter, longer barrel, more velocity, more killing power. And I'm just making some modifications. So I'm going to show you what I have so far, and let me know what you think. All right, that's what I got so far. I'm sure you're all marveling at my photography specialty, which is not. Anyway, I have made the toe chains. I put one in the front and one in the back. The reason I did that is I'm making this without fenders. I really want to show off the metal tracks that I put on there. I've got a metal barrel. I hand made some grab handles. I don't like anything. I like to handle my models after I finish them. So I don't want to break anything by mistake. And what I'm hoping to do today is to just show off the one thing wrong with 1/48 scale for the Russian tanks. And it's no fault of the manufacturer. It's just because of the scale of the machine guns and everything like that. I'll try to show you if it shows up. This is basically a machine gun that's supposed to go in the hull and the rear of the turret. I don't know how you're supposed to drill that end out to make it look like it's usable. I don't think you can. So I've yet to put the machine guns in because I'm going to make some custom ones. The first time I did this, I'm going to bring this over here just because I got the camera going. This is the Tamiya KV-1 with the applique armor. Hopefully you can see well, let's just bring it up so you can. That's the machine gun I came up with. As you can see the end of the barrel. You may think, well, maybe that looks a little off scale. Maybe you're right. It's just a first effort. I think it's good enough to put out. It's in my tank museum. So I'm going to be doing something like that and showing you what I've come up with. These are the brass tubes that I'll be using. 0.6 millimeter by 0.4. And sorry about that, the 0.9 millimeter by 0.7 millimeter. The way you cut these, I'm going to try to show this on the camera. Just to get a piece of metal rod that fits in between it. And you're thinking, well, Rick, that's kind of go all over the place. I'll never find it. So basically you just rub it over the brass tubing like that. and you can see where it cuts. That way, see if it's on the piece of metal that's inside the breast, it's not going to go anywhere because it's still on that piece of metal. So if you see that separation right there. There you go. So what I hope to do with that is I have some right here already made up, and then I'm going to try my best to make the machine guns that I made on this one here, which I think is a good first effort. I'm not at all beating myself up about that. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely the kit supplied ones, to no fault of the manufacturer. It's so small. The Russian machine guns in comparison to the scale of 148, it's hard to pull off. So I am going to put these together. Once I have these done, I'll make another video with this painted, and I'll show you how they turned out inside the turret. And see, it's in the back right there. There we go. So there's going to be one right there, and then one, the bow gun position right there. So I'm going to have to drill that out, which is no problem. Plastic is our friend in doing things like that. I also did some rough armor texture. You do that just by tapping it with some liquid glue, and then mixing out with Tamiya's gray putty and just tapping it. I'll try to do that in another video. I apologize that I sometimes I can't stop myself from continuing on before I do the next video. So I'm going to put those together. I really want to put out videos to show you guys 148 armor can be something you can get into. The Russian and the German ones, models in 148 are the only ones that have metal tracks. The manufacturers of the metal tracks just don't see a lot of demand for it. That's their decision, their business. They see what comes in, what goes out, and what they can make money on. I want to thank Master Club for coming up with the Russian line and giving us the T-34, KV-1, and the IS-3 and IS-2 tracks. And I know I'm forgetting one because they came out with 4 different ones. It's really enjoyable to be able to do such things. And man, I suck at photography. Sorry. It's really enjoyable that Master Club, a Russian company, I believe, stepped up and gave us those additional metal tracks, which make 148th, in my opinion, armor much more enjoyable. I like the metal barrels. I like the metal machine guns. The metal machine guns are more prevalent. They do have those in the Western Allied. They have it for the American ones, the British ones, also the main armament, the main barrel. They just don't have the metal tracks. And the metal tracks and the metal barrels, metal machine guns is the only reason I got back in the hobby. I got to be honest with you. I don't like doing plastic tracks. The length and length. They're very realistic, very well molded. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like dealing with the pin injector marks and such thing. The rubber tracks, I am never going to do rubber tracks. I just don't like them. It's something that they did in the 60s and the 70s and possibly continue that in the 80s. They probably did. I just think this is better doing the metal tracks, metal barrels and machine guns for myself. If you agree, outstanding. This is something I think makes the hobby more enjoyable for me anyway, hopefully for yourself as well. Okay, at this point, I'm going to sign off. I will make a video sooner than 2 weeks. I apologize. And I will get you the end result. We'll be leaving town for 3 or 4 days. So next week I'll be getting into hopefully painting this one and let you know how it came out. Okay. This is Rick from Doomsday Models. Stay safe out there and turn off the TV. That way you'll be much happier. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.